This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. Wearing my Blood Hunter sweater, which you could get on our merchandise site, which the link is in the description, or at the HannibalTV.com. And this is my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's more news than this in there, but I don't find it all interesting. So I tell you guys the stuff that I want to talk about. So let's jump into it. SmackDown last night did a 0.4 rating and had over 7,000 fans in attendance in Orlando. There was a second Vince McMahon Wall Street Journal story talking about payments of $12 million to 4 women, including one $7.5 million payoff regarding Vince McMahon over the past 16 years having sexual relations with these women. And John Laurinaitis also had sexual relations with at least one of them, apparently. The only real fallout so far has been the Netflix documentary on Vince McMahon has been pulled. And I do find that interesting because it's just a Netflix documentary. Isn't it more interesting that he's paid off women that he's had sex with? I find them even more interesting than I did before knowing that. So I find it funny that they would pull it, but maybe they're just going to pull it till the heat dies down, just like Ric Flair was pulled off of a bunch of stuff till his heat died down recently. So who knows? But Tom Pritchard commented on it really in a shoot clip that I posted yesterday or early this morning. And a good point is he paid all these women hush money and they signed non-disclosures apparently. But now the information is out there. So does that mean these women owe the money back? Because the whole point of non-disclosure agreements is to keep stuff quiet. So I'm sure he didn't pay over $12 million for these women to talk about it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Apparently, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson commented on his daughter Simone making her NXT house show debut on Entertainment Tonight. She's going by the name Ava Rain, not using any affiliation with The Rock for whatever reason. She appeared at the NXT house show in Citrus Springs, Florida last Friday. Then the next night in Orlando, she did a promo, which was the first promo of her career. Cody Rhodes apparently appeared on Busted Open Radio and said the doctors are not giving him a timeline for his return yet for his torn chest because they don't want him to rush a return. SummerSlam in Nashville, July 30th, has over 30,000 tickets out now for comps and sold tickets. Ring of Honor, technically I would say it's pretty much part of AEW, but if you want to consider it its own promotion, it's doing its second pay-per-view on July 23rd in Lowell, Massachusetts. And there's 2,269 tickets out for it right now, which Meltzer brings up is a lot better than the very small crowds they were getting under Sinclair. But again, they are using some talent that aren't in AEW, but a lot of it is AEW talent. So I wouldn't say it's really that distinct a promotion, but that's just my opinion. But Tony Khan is definitely going to keep it going under that name. Apparently, Raw is going to change from a TV PG to a TV 14 rating starting July 18th. Big E did an interview with ESPN saying he would make a full recovery but the injury is going to take him out for at least a year. Triple H is back working in the WWE office, but apparently NXT is still being run by Shawn Michaels, and Triple H has not been at the NXT tapings yet. The Rock turned down hosting the Emmy Awards due to his schedule being too busy. Dynamite did a 0.32 rating this week from Savannah, Georgia, in front of 3,400 paid. By the way, Parker Boudreaux, or Bordeaux, whatever his name is, the guy that they were saying was going to be the next Brock Lesnar, but I don't even think lasted a year in WWE, appeared at the AEW Dark tapings this weekend. And I'm sorry, I forget the name he was using in AEW, but he went over in his match. NXT did a 0.14 rating this week. Raw from San Antonio did 7,300 paid. Rampage did a 0.15 rating last week. SmackDown from the week before did a 0.47, and that was from Fort Worth, Texas, before 7,800 paid. Not bad crowd, considering it's 2022. The July 8th Citrus Spring, Florida NXT house show had 225 fans. The SmackDown on July 9th in Sacramento, which was, I guess, a house show, which I think was Rey Mysterio's first appearance there in many years, and Dominic's debut there, and I think they're from that area, did 7,707, which again is good for a house show in 2022. The same night, July 9th, in Bossier City, Louisiana, Raw house show did 3,849. July 10th in Reno, Nevada, the SmackDown house show did 3,414. The same night in Waco, Texas, where I've driven through many times, did 2,094 fans. Apparently, Ricky Morton is likely not going to be in Flair's retirement match now, because it's going to be Ricky and Kerry Morton versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson, managed by Arn Anderson. There's a lot of talk that it's going to be Flair against Jay Lethal, as they were training together, and it seems like they're trying to build up heat, but still no official announcement on who he's facing. Tammy Sitch pleaded not guilty to vehicular manslaughter charges. And apparently the prosecution has 18 witnesses in the case. Apparently because the Briscoes are not allowed on TBS or TNT because of some past anti-homosexual comments they made. Their angle with FTR done for, I guess, the Ring of Honor show was shot for YouTube only. So that's pretty much it.